Today we're going to be reviewing Superman Heat Vision from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice from Mcfarlane. Quick look at the box. You've got the Superman Heat Vision title down here, just a generic DC Multiverse logo. At the top, you do have the Batman v Superman S and Bat symbol logo. On the side, again, just a descriptive wording here. Kind of a terrible picture of him using his heat vision. I don't know why they would pick this photo. You can barely make out what's on there. That's probably the worst photo I've seen on the back of a box. And then on the side, you've got the title of the figure and the movie that he's based on. And at the top, the little logo again here. Taking a look at the figure outside the box, here he stands. And right out of the gate, the paint work looks amazing. But let's get into all of the details here. So first, we've got the head sculpt. Nice, menacing looking Superman head. Heat vision is a weird choice to have without a normal head to include. I think it's kind of a misfire to have such a specific head where he's using his heat vision, but without a regular head to swap it out with. I think what I will be doing later is swapping his head out for a normal head. Immediately, I really love what they did with the paintwork here. All the paints appear to be a very nice finish, very nice metallic, shiny paint for every part. The blues, the light blues, the red, even the gold and yellow. It really pops, especially with the light hitting it. So I really like how they did the paint here. The cape, they actually included a wire cape for this figure, and it's a cloth cape. It's a very nice sprawling cape as well, so plenty of fabric to work with. You get a lot of nice draping action. You can just bend it just like any other wire cape here, just like that. Very good move on their part. Not sure why they didn't include, again, the wire for the other figures in this set, the Brandon Routh Superman Returns, namely, since they did it here. But I do prefer the cloth cape over any hard plastic cape because it allows for much better posing. So good on Mcfarlane for doing that. Yeah, as you saw, there's no other accessories. So we don't have an alternate head, and we also don't have alternate hands, which is always a shame because Superman, you kind of want him to have the fist, but you also want him to have open hand or flat hands to fly and pose in different iconic ways that Superman tends to pose. So you're kind of restricted when all you have are the two fists. Let's take a look at the back of the figure without the cape covering it. Again, very nice paint work. Love the detailing, especially on the light blue detailing there. That really makes it pop. I'm surprised they did that, to be honest, because that is a pretty optional detail. But the fact that they went through the trouble of getting all these smaller pieces, these very lean pieces, to get that shiny pop just really brings it together. Okay, head, you go down about that much, not very much at all. Up, decent. Looks a little hunched though. The way his neck is kind of angled forward, see that? Side to side, about that much. Pretty good amount, actually. He's got the extra shoulder strip here. It is very stiff out of the box, but you can get his arm to raise pretty nicely here. Bicep swivel, double elbow, the normal wrist twist, and can hinge up and down like that as well. You do have the ab crunch, which does not go down at all, really. So, I mean, he doesn't bend at all. That's kind of useless. He does go back quite a bit, so that's good. Looks kind of weird. Looks like he's kind of got this beer belly thing going. It's just a little puffed out here, which is a little strange. Maybe that's kind of why it's restrictive when you try to pop it forward. So I wish they figured out a way to deal with that better. Of course, you got the waist. These are always so stiff out of the box. I'm almost afraid to break it open, but you know what those do. They rotate. It is a hard plastic for the centerpiece here. It is not the soft fabric that we've seen in some of these other figures. So that's going to maybe restrict it just a bit. As you can see, trying to get the leg up is not as easy as the ones that have the soft kind of rubbery material. He does have the double knee. Here's the ankle. He also has the toe articulation like so. So not bad, but I think the biggest flaw is going to be this mid piece that really doesn't have much crunch at all. Side by side with the Zack Snyder cut Justice League movie Superman in the all black suit figure. That's the one I have for my representation of Superman in the McFarlane line. It appears to be the exact same sculpt and base, just a repaint. But that's not necessarily a complaint. It makes sense to go with the same molds here. There's not going to be any difference as far as the molds. But the color is, again, outstanding on the new Heat Vision one. The reds, the blues, they just really, really pop. The other difference is the hard plastic cape on the old Superman figure. Not only is it hard, but it's really thick. I mean, it's heavy and dense, y'all. So I don't know why they made it that way, but it makes for a very awkward figure to try to pose. And moreover, I mean, it's gonna mess with the weight and balance a little bit too. So I don't know what they're thinking when they did these capes. Here he is next to the Christopher Reeve Superman movie figure. Christopher Reeve, I don't think is that tall, so he seems a little bit taller than he should be. I could be wrong on that, but either way, it looks weird side by side. I always imagined Cavill being a much more muscular and bigger frame than the other Superman. Next to the Brandon Routh Superman Returns figure, again, kind of the same observation. Henry Cavill looks a bit shorter than he should be, but either way, I really like his build. His frame looks very muscular and very intimidating, especially next to this skinnier, lankier looking Brandon Routh. Here he is next to the David Cornsweet Superman from James Gunn's movie. Now that I've got James Gunn's Superman kind of stretched out, they do seem to be pretty on par as far as their height. But again, I think David Cornsweet should probably be the tallest looking one, and they might have underscaled his height here. I think this one's more rare, but it's the DC Films collectibles Batman v Superman Henry Cavill Superman figure. It's kind of in between a 6 and 7 inch scale. It's a little bit smaller than a McFarlane. Articulation is kind of weird on this one. There's lots of weird gaps and kind of a weird elbow joint. I used to think it looked pretty nice, but seeing him next to the McFarlane, I think the McFarlane just blows it out of the water. I mean, look at the weird kind of skinny waistline they got going on here just to make it fit inside this upper piece. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't look natural, whereas this build looks really nice. Here's the Mafex Superman from the Batman v Superman movie line as well. The paint is actually pretty on par between these two figures. It's got that nice shine and glimmer and metallic quality to it. But something weird about this is the wire is actually on the bottom and there's no wiring on the sides, even though it's kind of sewn right there. They could have easily put a wire. So it makes for kind of awkward posing, in my opinion. And here's the Man of Steel early figure that is 6 inch scale. For its time, not a bad figure. Missing the ab crunch is the main deal there. And of course, the lack of a cloth cape. But otherwise, it's a decent sculpt and pretty decent paint. But again, the McFarlane paint job just blows it out of the water. It doesn't have the same shine as McFarlane. Here we have all four of the different size Superman figures side by side, just for comparison. All of the 7 inch scale McFarlane Superman figures I have side by side. Superman figures from McFarlane with their head switched. Got the Heat Vision head on the Zack Snyder cut all black suit version, which I think looks pretty badass. Makes more sense, kind of a darker tone, so it'd be more appropriate for him to have the menacing red Heat Vision eyes, whereas the more classic red and blue on the left. Now you've got the generic Henry Cavill head instead of the Heat Vision, which I think looks a lot better. He also has his hair combed differently, kind of parted on the other side, a little bit more volume. I like this switch up. I think this makes a lot more sense, but let me know what you guys think. Does this work better for y'all with the head switch? I'm gonna keep this head on to end this review. But for me, guys, it is an A plus. Love, love, love the paint. They really killed it with the metallics on this one. Articulation, just fine. The ab crunch is a little limited. Cloth cape, wire, that's a win. Lack of accessories, disappointing, but not a deal breaker for me. So I really like this figure. I think it's a good stand-in since I didn't catch the Henry Cavill in his blue suit the first time McFarlane released it. So I was happy for this re-release so I could get my hands on him because I've been displaying mine with just the all-black suit, but it's nice to have the blue and red version as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you going to pass on this one, or is this one you're going to be adding to your collection?